Baby.
Hi, how are
Hey,
you?
girl, I'm good. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. Much
Girl, yes, I'm
appreciated.
so excited because I know you haven't been on Instagram that much. So I'm like, oh my God, it's gonna be time. Is she gonna be here? Like, I was like, please don't stand us up.
No, I did it. I'm not on IG like that, but I was like, I'm gonna do it.
Well, now you just want to take a break, or you just?
Yeah, me personally, I feel like, social media, Instagram is a great platform for a lot of people and a lot of different products and people's businesses, as long as you're doing it for the right reason. But I also think it has this, it's ways of hurting people and being very negative. So it's all in what you make it. And I feel like if you're following the right people, that's conducive to what you're trying to do in the business world, then hey, it does make sense. But the whole perception and facades and all that, it's not my stilo.
Yeah.
So
I understand.
I don't have time for that.
I ain't mad at you, but I am grateful that you're here today. So I just wanted to give you like a quick little introduction, and then we can like tap into the questions, okay?
Absolutely. Let's do
and
it.
then correct me if I'm like anything wrong or whatever, because you know you've been ghosted, so I want to make sure we all good. Okay. So Sammye Scott is an entertainment mogul in the making. As director of A&R for label giant Atlantic Records, Sammye plays a major role in discovering the next superstars in music. Throughout the years, Sammye has been honored as Atlanta's top 20 under 30 millennials, and she's made waves in the city with her curated event, Candid Conversations. She is currently managing artist Marissa. Yes.
No, that's still like my little sis. Not anymore though.
Okay.
But,
Okay. Well,
yeah.
she was formerly
Only Atlantic Records.
Marissa, who just came
Only
out
Atlantic Records.
So
yeah.
Shout out to her.
Shout out to Marissa.
Yeah. So I know that you are a Spelman graduate, and I went to Clark Atlanta. So shout out to the AUC.
Shout out to AUC.
Okay. Everybody says that Atlanta runs everything, but I really think the AUC runs everything, okay?
Absolutely. Everyone comes from the AUC, I swear.
Yeah, so I was going to say, like a lot of the industry tastemakers have come from the AUC as well. So did your time at Spelman allow you to like make any industry connections, or was that like, beneficial? Yeah.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think more than anything, like I love Spelman. I really had no choice but to go there because my whole family went there. But more than anything, I feel like, I'm sorry?
I said yes, legacy.
Oh yeah. More than anything, I learned, how to navigate as a woman. I learned how to navigate in my career. I learned how to network. I learned how a resume should be. I learned how a lady should enter the room and introduce herself. So I took all those elements from Spelman. I can't say like, I'm not gonna say I didn't learn anything like book wise, but
yeah,
I learned more so about myself. Yeah, about myself and as a woman at Spelman more than anything. And I'm sure a lot of people can attest to that. And I learned about sisterhood more than anything from there. Important. So I mean, it's all girls school. So
yes, that's amazing. So how, I'm just keep it straightforward, what led to you getting your position as A&R with Atlantic Records? Like, what were you doing before you got that position? What led up to that?
Okay, I can kind of tell my story. It's kind of long, but so much more before I got to Atlantic. So many falls on my head and everything else before I got to Atlantic Records. And I'm still doing that, still making mistakes and still learning from them. But initially when I was in college, I was a history major and I was tremendously failing, like doing really, really bad. And so I was like, I got to change my major because this is not working at all. So I changed to psychology with the track and pre-law. I always wanted to go to law school and be a lawyer, but I also wanted to do something in the music industry because my passion was music. So it's like how those could complement each other and coincide with each other. That's what I wanted to do. I ended up getting an internship in the music industry because one of my friends, she used to talk to this guy and he works in music. And so he was trying to get her to come and help him. And she was like, I'm a classically trained dancer. Like, this is not what I do. But my friend Sammye loves stuff like this, so she should do it. So shout out to Victoria. So I ended up working with him and learning the ins and outs of the studio, to be honest. He was working with Coco Kiss and E.T. and J Nix and Jazzy Faye and all these people. So that's how I met them at such a young age. And while I was doing it, it was cool. I learned a lot, but at the time I'm like, I can't really give this 200% and do school. So I fell back for a little while. And then once I graduated, I started interning at a booking agency. And at that point, I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do. I just knew I wanted to be in the music industry, and I wanted to learn all facets of the music industry because I never wanted to walk into a room and not be able to touch base on a particular subject or topic. Yeah. So I was like, I just want to learn everything until I figure out what, really suits me. So I started at the booking agency. That was super dope. I learned a lot. I met a lot of different people who I still have relationships to this day with. I met Chubby Baby and Orlando McGee and Ray Daniels and Rico Brooks and Hotel and just so many influential people that are in the music industry still to this day. So those relationships, I learned how to do contracts. I learned how to call someone and ask them for $100,000 for an artist that I had never met before. Wow. Which for some people might not be anything, but I'm like 2021. I'm like, can you book Jeezy? So it was super dope, but I realized after 2 years that it wasn't for me because I wanted to be more so on the creative side. And I still have relationships from everyone that was there, by the way. So that's why, relationships are super important. But after that, my Spelman sister put on Facebook, shout out to Devaney, put on Facebook that she was looking for someone to replace her working at the front desk of Music Box Studios, which at the time, or they still own it, Akon and his brother Boo Cham own the studio, and Boo Vision and Convict Music. So I applied. Shout out to Amber. Amber actually hired me. Yeah.
Amber Grimes?
Yep, Amber Grimes.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
She hired me, and I was working at the front desk. So from working at the front desk, I was like, I'm gonna maximize off this. Like, of course, my end goal was not to work at the front desk, but I'm like, since I'm here, and first impression is everything. I'm the first person people see and encounter when they walk in the door. I'm gonna take advantage of the opportunity. So, slowly but surely, I would just connect with people and build those relationships and make sure, they were good and didn't need anything while they were there. From there, after a few months, I think I became assistant studio manager, and then I became studio manager, and I became Boo's personal assistant, then executive assistant. Then I was operational management for Boo Vision and Convict. So I was running everything for them, all their music, publishing, franchises, everything. And while I was doing that, which was super dope, and I met a lot of great people from there. People are doing amazing things now, and this is once again why relationships are so important. Right. Sickpin, JR, Blue and Coney, Verse Simmons, Melon Moose, just so many different people that today, I can still call and have a conversation with, and they saw me rise from front desk to where I am now. Yeah,
that's amazing. So you just been leveling up, like you worked your way to the top, basically.
Absolutely. And even when I was when I was working inside the studio, I used to just sit in the rooms with the different creatives and learn the ins and outs of it. I had already had a little bit of experience from my previous internship, but from working with Boo and Akon and Amber and everyone else, like, they gave me so much responsibility and allowed me to do so much to learn everything that I could while I was there. So meeting other creatives, meeting artists before who they are today is just crazy. So while I was doing that, I started working with a touring company called Blue Alley Touring. Shout out to Dre Davis.
Yeah.
Because all these people literally, played a major part in my life and my trajectory, like going up from college to now. Yeah. And, you really have to make sure you don't forget those people that helped you out when you didn't know where you were, what you were trying to do. You just knew you wanted to be a part of something. So, like I said, I started working with Blue Alley Touring, and I was doing project management for K. Michelle and Janae Aiko and Yo Gotti and Jacob Lattimore, 7th Streeter, which was super cool. Learned a lot from that, and I became K. Michelle's day-to-day management from there.
Okay.
Yeah, that was super exciting. That was cool. I had never done anything like that. So this was on a whole different level now. I'm like, okay, cool. It's on and popping.
You're like, oh, I'm lit. Okay.
Yep. So that was super cool. I did that for a while. And then, but mind you, let me just put this out here. I started off making bank runs for K Michelle initially.
Wow.
I went from bank runs to project management to day-to-day management. So like the grinding and the glow up is real.
Yeah, yeah.
So after that kind of brings me to where I am today. I heard Atlantic was looking to empower a woman, and my friend Gemini, actually, who used to engineer for Bert Simmons at Music Box with Akon and Boo, he hit me and was like, hey, they're looking to empower a woman. I think you would be a great asset to the company. So I went over there and met with Chris Jones, which I already knew Chris before, but he was currently VP at the time, still is. That's my coworker. Shout out to him.
Yeah.
He kind of just like put me in the mix or whatever, and then introduced me to Lanre Gaba, who came down and then hired me as a consultant. I think I was a consultant for like 4 or 5 months maybe. And then I was offered a full-time position, and that's where I am today, Director of A&R for Atlantic.
Clap it up for you, sis. Okay.
Thank you.
Very impressed by this long resume, girl. You have been working like you are the just.
Thank you.
Honestly, yeah. So when I think of A&R, like I think of like, you know, the Andre Harrells, like the LA Reeds and stuff like that. So these are like people that have like had their hands heavy into like, you know, molding artists and stuff like that. So is that still true today, or like can you explain like what an A&R does in today's industry, or is it, you know, like what the day-to-day of an A&R is?
Yeah, no, definitely. And I do want to touch base because I feel like I didn't answer your question fully at the beginning about did I meet people and was I able to network while I was at Spelman?
Girl, you was dropping a lot of people, so I know your relationships is crazy.
Well, no, just speaking of that, like when I was in college, I don't know who on here is familiar with Cam Kirk, but we were in the same year. I know Cam Kirk, like Cam Kirk.
Everybody, if you in Atlanta, you know Cam Kirk. So.
Yeah, so that's who I came up with. And Metro Boomin, I think he was like a year or two below me. It's Keshi and Amiko, and there's so many people doing big. Sky went to Clark at the time, but we've always been friends since I think we were freshmen. Right, who does the creative design? Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So just so many people who I came up with from college to today. It's like to see where we are is like, whoa.
I know. So everybody's making big moves. That's amazing.
Yeah, so, shout out to all of them. Definitely. So, but as far as I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna reiterate my question or whatever, but if you were, but I was just basically saying, like, what does the A&R do today? Is it the same as it was before, or how has it changed over the years?
So I think the A&R process it's different. I can't even, hold you. It's definitely different from what it was back in the day into where it is today, because in today's age, we have social media. So people are literally going viral and breaking off social media. They didn't have that back then. They were literally in the clubs, at open mics, in the streets, in the strip clubs, like finding raw talent. On the corners, finding raw talent. I think in today's day and age, I don't want to say it's easier, but we definitely have more resources that we can rely on to find talent. So like there's people that solely their job as an A&R is research A&Rs. And their job is literally to, find out online who is moving, who has potential, who YouTube spiked up or anything like that. Right. As well as, I don't know, it's just so different now. It's just so different now. It's so many different ways. I can tell you how I do it as an A&R. I go by word of mouth a lot.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I didn't want to cut you off.
No, you're good.
No, I was going to ask you, so it's like a research A&R and then it's like the studio A&R, or is it like two different sides of A&R, or?
No, I mean, there's different types of A&Rs, period, in my opinion. Yeah. There are research A&Rs, which, like I said, strictly what they do is research. But they also consign people.
Okay.
And then there's A&Rs that are like the more musical A&Rs. I feel that are in the studio. They have the relationships with the producers, the songwriters. They're putting together the creative sessions. When artists come in town, they're putting them with creatives. And then you have A&Rs that have just all the relationships, period. They can call anybody, any artist, any producer, anybody, and connect the two.
Yeah. Okay.
So.
No, so I know that like over the years you have like sat in a lot of like listening sessions with artists and stuff like that, and like they played their music for you. So say you're in a session right now with an artist. What are you looking for? Like, what is it that makes you like, okay, like you got something, or you know, or is it like you're a little trash? Like, what? How can somebody get your attention? I guess in a session.
Well, you know, I'm looking for superstars. Yeah. I'm looking for longevity, and I feel like people could take the word superstar and be like, well, this person wasn't a superstar when they walked in the room, or that person wasn't a superstar when they walked in the room. But I think it's a thing of seeing the potential within them. Mm-hmm. Like, and I think I'm good at that. Like, I think I'm good at like, okay, you're not there, but you know, in the next year or next year and a half, or maybe next 2 years, I see what it could potentially be. Mm-hmm. And it's not just about what's going on in the world that everyone else is chasing after. For me, mm-hmm. I'm looking for something like, if I sign you, we're either married or you're my child. So we're in this for the long run. Yeah. So I don't want something just because it's a fad right now. I want something that, you know, someone that has work ethic, because the dopest person could not want to go to the studio, or could not want to do press runs, or could not want to network with this producer or this writer or with this artist. And I don't have time for that. I'm not begging anyone to do their job. Right. Okay. So I hear it in your voice. This is a boss. Okay. Don't play with her. She is about her business. I love it. So, I know you aren't currently managing Marissa anymore, but are you looking to manage any artists, or is that something that you're not interested in anymore, or like where you at with that? I mean, not at the moment. Okay. Yeah. That's just not, yeah. You know, working at it. Yeah, I was gonna say, how does that work? Like, how does that work? Yeah. You work at like a major label, and then if you sign like an indie, and they're like, I'm trying to get on, what's up? Like, yeah. Yo, okay, I'm gonna sign you to Atlantic. Let's figure it out. Right. Or maybe, honestly, maybe it's like, I think they're dope, but I don't think they're ready to be signed to a major. Okay. So at that point, I'm going to build with them. Because we have access to a studio, my office is inside a studio, I'm going to start putting them in sessions. I'm going to see how they work. I'm going to put them with this writer. I'm going to put them with this producer. I'm going to throw in this artist, see how they engage with other people, and build it up. And have their team work to build them up. And then maybe 6 months down the line, or maybe a year down the line, we built that rapport with each other. They trust me, I trust them. Then it's like, okay, now it's time to take you to the building. Okay. Because people don't understand, like, everyone's not ready to be signed to a major label. Everyone wants to be signed to a major label, obviously, because that's what everyone wants to do. That's what the money is put out there. Exactly. But they don't understand, once they get to a major label, it's not as easy as you think. You get signed to a major label, now the pressure is really on. You thought the pressure and the grinding was happening before. Now it's a whole different conversation, because you're competing with tier level A, B, and C. So the top artists that are at the label, the mid-level artists that are at the label, and the baby acts. You're competing with everyone. So I try to, you know, let people know, provide that information for any new artist that I'm talking to, working with, or just trying to provide insight for. Yeah, the artists are in here going crazy for you right now. Like, oh, are they? I'm sorry. I can't happy that you are back, girl. You need to come back. No, if you guys have any questions too, make sure you use that little Q&A at the bottom, and I can answer some of those for you. But so since they are here and they want to get your attention, how is a way that any artist can reach you? I know you're not, you know, on social, so I mean, I know you probably not looking for publicity stuff. Hilarious. All my friends literally have talked with me daily, like, Sammy, get back on Instagram. Sammy, get back on Instagram, please. Yes. So, I mean, since we've been in quarantine, you know, I have been a little bit more active. Not necessarily posting or anything on social media, but just going through my DMs, because I do get tons of DMs. Girl, we was from producers, songwriters, artists, managers, different companies, whatever the case might be. But that's also why I provide my email in my bio. So it's like, okay, you might not catch me on that, but my email is in my bio, and I do check my email. So I'm pretty easy to approach, in my opinion. I think I am, but it's also the way anyone can approach you. You know, no one wants you to just be like, someone to come up in their face and be like, yo, check me out, I'm the hottest artist in the streets. Like, you're the hottest artist in the streets, I should know about you already. So clearly not. Let's figure out a different approach.
That's like what happened with 50 Cent. When that boy rolled up on 50 Cent, it was like, listen to my music or whatever. It was a whole thing, girl. I don't know.
No, exactly. It's real though. So it's like, I mean, you can email me, and then I'm looking for someone you can build with me. Hey, Sammy, how are you? I've been working on these records. Could you check them out? Cool. That's cool. But don't just send me your music in a blank email with no, you're not addressing me. There's no subject line. There's no nothing. I'm not
Professionalism.
Yeah. Sure. It's key. Yeah, because I literally get thousands of emails and DMs and calls and texts from people I don't even know who they are, on top of the people who I do know that are sending me DMs, emails, text messages, and calling. So, yeah.
Okay, we got some questions now. They done hit us up. Hopefully it's nothing crazy.
We got questions? Okay.
Yes. Hold on.
I'm scared.
Oh my God. We already answered that. Somebody said, how does an artist reach you? I'm the illest spitter in Atlanta.
Oh,
well, have we?
You see, that's what I'm talking about. I mean, but I will, how do I do this? I know people pin things, or maybe I can just put it in the comments.
Like, you want me to pin something?
Yeah, where they can send me music.
Yeah, if you just type your email and then I'll pin it for you.
Okay, cool. Thanks. Yeah. Sorry, I'm not IG savvy.
No, girl, it's okay. We're gonna get you right. We bringing you back.
Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Okay, let me see. Beats for Sammye at Gmail. Okay, I just sent it.
You posted it.
Yep.
Wait, I don't see your caption. Oh, do y'all see your caption?
Oh, I see it. Y'all don't see it?
Girl, I do not see it.
Oh no, it says it sent. Hold on 1 second.
Do y'all see it? Yes or no? If y'all see it, then just write it down, okay? Because I definitely do not see it.
It's beatsforsammye@gmail.com.
Oh, okay. Somebody put it, so I'm gonna pin that.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Whoever did that, I appreciate it.
Yeah. Okay. Joey said they about to flood your inbox, okay?
I need new music though, like for real. Everybody's working right now, guys. Everyone's working. So please feel free to send me the hottest production, the hottest demos.
Right. This was a good question. It says, would you encourage an indie artist to get a pub deal if they have a large catalog, and what's the difference, by the way, between a pub deal versus a record deal, a publishing deal?
Wait, what was the first part of the question?
Would you encourage an indie artist to get a publishing deal if they have a large catalog?
Well, I mean, a large catalog doesn't mean that it's, a catalog that's generating monies. So it depends on that. Like, you could have put a lot of money. I mean, you could have put a lot of music out, but it's not generating anything. So therefore, I wouldn't advise you to get a pub deal. But I mean, it's kind of hard to say that because people are in different spaces. I personally always tell people I would hold off on getting a publishing deal because you have more leverage. Even with signing to a label, I would say hold off, because when you go in the room, you want to be able to dictate the conversation, not them dictating the conversation.
So I wait the gym, y'all. Write this down.
I wait till it's more so in your advantage.
Yeah.
So.
That was, okay. And then there was a second part to that question too. They said, what's the difference between a publishing deal and a record deal?
So, I mean, a record deal is I'm signing you as an artist to the label. I mean, we do have song deals with producers that they can do. But a publishing company is different. That's from your writing. That's from spins on the radio.
Right.
So it's two different things. Like, you can have a publishing company you have a publishing deal, and you can be signed to a major label. We don't get any. Oh, Derek. Hey, Derek. Yes, you do. You get all the acknowledgement. Love you, Derek.
Derek asked, can you sign him? Hold on.
Derek is out of here. Shout out to
it?
Derek. He just he wrote on the Savage remix with Beyonce.
I'm like, he verified everything. So what are you talking about? Sorry,
Okay, C note. I see C note on
it. I just put this up because I know he was playing. I'm a gospel artist. Play too much. Okay, hold on. We got let's see. Somebody asked what year you graduated from Spelman.
2012. It's supposed to be 2011, but you know I changed my major, so.
So okay, what are your recommendations on getting signed as a songwriter to a label?
I mean, to a label?
Yeah, I guess. I guess for people that write music, if they want to get signed to a label, like, how can they do that? Or
not really that. I would think they would more so. Well, where are they as a writer before they even think about getting signed? Do you have any placements?
That's a good question. Right back in.
Yeah, because people are always trying to skip steps.
Yeah.
So it's like, where are you as a writer? Let's figure that out first before we start talking about you getting signed to a label. That's
a major key. Everybody wants to jump to the finish line before
exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Guys, a few more. We got a little bit more time. They said, who is the next fire female producer in the game? Do you know any female producers that you have your eyes on?
Yeah, India, she's from Florida. I can't think of what part, but India, I think it's India Got Beats or India, something like. She's a dope producer from Florida and a woman.
Okay. India Beats, something like that. Look her up.
Yep.
Okay. Let's see this. Oh, they said, okay, so they revised our questions. What are your recommendations on getting songwriting placements?
Oh, okay, because I'm like, I was confused. I'm like, they don't really, songwriters aren't getting deals at labels. I mean, you can do a song deal, but it's different. It's not like you're getting signed.
Right.
But anyway, as far as getting placements, I feel like you gotta be in the studio working. Like, number one, like coming up with demos, making sure they're strong demos, because I feel like a lot of people are tone deaf. And are you really listening to what you're coming up with? And are you comparing this to what's going on the billboards or what's already out? And I'm not saying it needs to be exactly the same of what's already out, but sonically, does it hit that standard?
Right.
Because the emails I get sometimes, I'm like, I can't even believe you felt comfortable sending this. Like, you got to recognize, and I'm not even being funny, I'm being dead ass serious, because I feel like a lot of people sugarcoat shit, and I feel like you got to listen to what you're sending before you send it out. Like, could you hear this person on it? Like, does this sound like a strong record? And some people just don't know. So that's why they're asking the questions. But sometimes, this is one of my things. This is how I work when I'm putting together creative sessions. Like, everyone's good at something different. So 95% of the songs out here have co-writers. Mm-hmm. And I don't think people are aware of that. But you put someone in a session, one writer might be great at delivery. One writer might be great at melodies and cadences. And then the other writer might be good at writing the lyrics to it.
Right.
And then that's how you come up with a solid song, as opposed to one person writing the full song who might not be great at coming up with verses, or they only might be great with hooks. So
that's good. Hold on, let me see if I got one more. We'll do one more.
Someone says a Royal Rumble in the comment section. What is going on in the comment section?
They said a rumble.
I don't know what's going on. It's kind of like hard to read the messages. I don't know what's going on.
Okay, it's a lot of questions. Hold on, let me read this whole one. It's real small. How do you suggest breaking into the business side of the industry? I'm in a mid-sized city, and where the industry,
they're in a what?
They're in like a smaller city where the industry isn't like a big presence. They aren't in like one of the major cities. So how can they break into the industry, I guess, on the business side? So like they might want to be an A&R, I guess. What's your advice?
Okay, I mean, there's various ways to like become an A&R. It's not just like automatically, oh, let me go get a job at a label and say I'm an A&R. because there's some people who are A&Rs at labels that don't know what they're doing. So, I mean, one, you got to understand what an A&R is. So whether it be you finding the artist and building the artist up and breaking the artist, and then you let people come to you and be like, yo, you came up with this artist, like, what else can you do? You know what I'm saying? Like, once again, that's you being in control, you having that leverage to have the conversation and dictate the conversation. Right. Or maybe you come up with, like, you're an A&R that knows all the producers, like, you're great at that. And so you sending out tracks to everyone and you're getting all these producers' placements. Like, it's just various ways that you can dive into the industry, I guess. Okay. Being consistent, reaching out to people who are already in the industry. Hey, I got this. I think you should check it out. Hey, I have someone that does that to me every week. This guy, he sends me music from producers, songwriters, and artists every single week. Wow. And best believe I'm taking a second look at him.
That's what's up.
So, you got to be proactive. Mm-hmm. Everyone in this day and age is accessible for the most part, whether it be through email, social media, or through someone else that you might know that knows them.
Right. Just go hard, go for it. You are the testimony of it, of, like, you know, building your way up. So it's definitely possible. That's dope. So I just want to finish because we are, you know, about to wrap it up. So I have one more question for you. What is next for Sammye?
What's next for me? Oh, wow.
Yeah. What are you working on now? What do you want to share? Anything? Are you coming back to the gram? Can we
am I coming back? Right now, I'll tell you who I'm working on. So I'm working on Kibo Money. He's an artist from Memphis, super dope, soulful rapper and singer. We're gonna be releasing something real soon on him. Shout out to Juicy Fruit. Juicy Fruit, she's from Memphis. Working on her. We just dropped a mixtape March 11th. She's steadily working as well right now. K Supreme.
Okay.
K Supreme is from Pasadena, California. Resides in Atlanta. Super dope. We just released a video with him featuring Lil Yachty and Cheap Keef, April 8th. Doing extremely well. Shout out to Giannis. We're working on her, wrapping up her project. She's an R&B singer here in Atlanta. Shout out to Raish. Raish, R&B singer as well.
Yeah.
So
it's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot. It never stops. It never stops.
We might not see you on the gram, but you're working.
I'm always working. Always.
Well, I just want to thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much for
having me.
It's
been a pleasure seeing your beautiful face, and we hope that this is not the last time, okay?
I'm gonna try to get on more. I'm working my way. I'm trying to mentally get there to get back on IG.
Girl, that's how I'm gonna DM you every day. Like, where you at? Where you at, sis?
I got you. I really appreciate you taking the time to do this. This was super dope. Thank you for all the love in the comments, even though I got to go back and read because there's so many. But I appreciate everyone tuning in today, and I hope I could provide some sort of insight or knowledge and help y'all, you know, where you're trying to be.
Do a little drop for us real quick. Shout out to Gemboree and Friction Media.
Shout out to Gemboree and who?
And Friction Media.
Okay. Damn, I'm so bad. I gotta do a drop that on the spot.
On the spot.
Shout out.
I'm the A&R.
Shout out to Gemboree. Okay. Shout out to Gemboree and Friendship Media for having me today. This was super dope. Like I said, I hope I can provide any type of insight or knowledge. If not, shoot me an email. I think this is a great platform that you all are providing for everyone during this time. And I hope you all continue to do it once this blows by us. And thank you so much. Appreciate everyone.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, enjoy the rest of your day.
You too. Bye.